Please keep checking out the link in my bio for the Black Lives Matter movement. Jacob Blake is another black man that was wrongfully murdered by police, and there is also a GoFundMe that I retweeted on my Twitter to help his family. I'm really hoping the titles of my videos help them not get blocked for like the beginning segments, because YouTube will in fact block those if they have any wind of them. Hello Friendzies, welcome back to my channel. So last year, definitely last year, I made a video where I did a sibling alignment chart, and I basically asked people online, my family, like my friends, to tell me where they fell under. And my alignment chart was oldest, youngest, middle child, and it was like problem, perfect, and like baby or something like that. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I made a chart asking people how their siblings kind of fell, and my siblings fell in like the exact stereotype of like the perfect oldest, the problem middle, and then like the spoiled weird baby. And I actually got really surprising results from that. They weren't results that I was expecting. So if you want to see that video, check out this card over here. But off of that, I didn't talk about the dynamics between my siblings and I, because I did talk about having two older brothers, but I didn't talk about our dynamic, and I want to talk about that because the way our dynamic is, I don't understand sibling interaction and like sibling politics. I work with these two girls that are sisters, and they're only a couple years apart, and the way they interact with each other, I don't know if I should be like concerned or if I should just be like, haha, that's how sisters are. And I also have no sisters, so I don't know how sisters interact. I have youngest child syndrome and only child syndrome. So my brothers, I have two older brothers, like I said, and one of my brothers is 11.5 years older than me, and the other brother is 8.5 years older than me. So there is no, like, real connection. And growing up, my brothers were basically, like, a second parent for me. There wasn't, like, well, no, I can't say that. There was times where they would, you know, have out all their toys and let me play with them. But it was definitely like, oh, okay, let's just let the baby play with us so that she doesn't start screaming. And it wasn't really like cohesive playing and like storytelling together. So I see a lot of posts and a lot of memes about how siblings interact, and like I'm a big fan of the Umbrella Academy. I love watching the Hargrave siblings interact. I feel like they wrote Siblings really well, but I don't know that from I don't feel that from experience. I feel that from just like a writing standpoint. There was a sweet spot at one point in my life where I was like in middle school, and my second oldest brother was like recently out of high school. My oldest brother was like, he had a job, but there was a sweet spot where the three of us did kind of interact like siblings, but for the most part, they're just like dads to me, which is weird because when I was really little, that kind of felt like more appropriate. And now, like when my mom's like, well, they're like little dads to you, I'm like, no, thank you. They both have their own children. And because I still live with my mom, my oldest brother, he doesn't do it so much anymore, but my oldest brother usually, when we like meet up, the first thing he does is make sure I'm like taking care of mom, because that's what he kind of did. He helped take care of my mom and he helped take care of me. So it's weird because he's grilling me like my brother, but he's asking questions like a parent. And so my oldest brother used to work with computers, and he did it like in town, so he would be at my school a lot when like, you know, different computer issues would come up, and kids would always ask me if he was my dad, and I was always really freaked out by that. And then a secretary at my middle school one year asked if my other brother was my dad. And when I was like, no, this is my brother, she gave him like a really uncomfortable like up and down look, and then was like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, I'm gonna die. And I had a teacher that graduated a year or two before my oldest brother, and he asked me, he was like, oh yeah, are you this person's sister? And I was like, yeah, you're the first person who hasn't thought that he's my dad. And he was so freaked out. So you see what I mean? Does anybody else have this situation where they're the baby, but they're the baby by so many years that it doesn't feel like siblings, and people always ask you if that's your dad or if that's your mom? Like, it's fucking weird. And like I said, I don't understand how siblings interact, because Who is a good example? I can't even think of a good example of who to use other than my friend from work, because all of my other friends have siblings that are like decently older than them, like Steven, Megan. Nicole is not that much younger than her brother, but I feel like they are just like apart enough in age that it can go either way. Who is a good example? I don't want to use my friend from work because she has a sister, and I especially don't understand how sisters work. I see the way they act and talk to each other. My mom is one of like 8, and she has sisters and brothers, and her sisters are the ones that are like the closest in age to her. This piece of hair. How many people are watching this video watching me try to tuck this piece of hair behind my ear and screaming the 3rd time it still didn't go back? All of the people that are closest in age to my mom are her sisters. So I still don't get it. I don't understand siblings. Siblings don't make sense to me because I don't know. I feel like I'm not a sibling. I feel like I'm an only child 9 times out of 10. And that's also because my brothers are that much older than me, so at this point they live on their own with their significant others and their kids. So it's not like they're still in the house and like where we interact more, because I feel like now at this age, the age gap doesn't feel as big because both of my brothers are in their 30s and I'm 24. So that doesn't feel like as big of an age gap as when you're like 10 and your brothers are 18 and up. Maybe now we kind of act more like siblings, but then again, I still don't know what that means. I don't know what acting like a sibling means. Also, how many of you are watching this and being like, oh, youngest and feel like you're the only child? Oh, that must be nice. How many of you are the older sibling and have to watch this and are like, I hate this girl? But anyway, I don't know. I wanted to kind of talk about that because that's just it. You know that there are sibling politics. And if you are a sibling, you know that there are certain ways that you guys interact. And I just don't know. And I don't feel that. And it's weird because I think about it a lot. The fact that I am, in fact, a 3rd child. My mom and I were saying last night that unless you knew that my brothers and I were siblings, if you met us each individually, I don't think you would have any clue that we're siblings. Because, I mean, yeah, the family resemblance, kind of. But neither of my brothers really look like me. I personally feel like Aaron looks a lot like one side of the family, John looks a lot like another side of the family, and I look like my stepdad. Like, genuinely, if I put a picture of like my birth father and then my stepdad with me in the middle, tell me who I would look more like, it's my stepdad. It's fucking wild. Anyway, please leave down in the comments which sibling you are. Leave in the comments which sibling you are. I want to know if you are an oldest child, because I know oldest children, even if, no, that's a lie. Oldest children, I feel like all of them fall under the eldest daughter syndrome situation, but that's not always true because I know oldest sons sometimes get to just do whatever the fuck they want. I don't know. See what I don't know. I don't know what I'm even talking about. Anyway, yeah, leave in the comments which sibling you are. Tell me how badly you want to scream with the fact that I'm the baby and kind of the only child. And leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Give it a good old thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! How many people are super happy that this was a short video and not a 25-minute video this week?